I'm willing to bet for a good majority of you watching this video, your first major exposure to Digimon was the Digimon cartoon or anime. But some of you may have gotten started, and indeed the franchise got started with something like this, the Digimon version 1, although admittedly, this is the 20th anniversary re-release. Which got me thinking, some of the rookie partners in Digimon Adventure were from the first 5 versions of the Digital Monster VPET, but some weren't. So what if all Adventure partner rookies were from the original Digital Monster VPETs? What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX and welcome back to another video. And if it's not welcome back, change that. The Digimon cards are back. I thought it'd be fun for November and December. Also, it's my birthday in 3 days, so go to karnex.store. Get yourself a hoodie, a phone case, something fun, and send me a picture of you wearing or holding it on Twitter. I want to see you enjoying my merch for my birthday. Why do I always default to aggressive? But anyway, grab your VPETs and your crests, because yeah, we're giving those Adventure Kids original VPET partners. My rules are thus: the rookies must all be from the first set of Digital Monster VPETs, but their evolutions can come from anywhere from 1997 through to 1999, as that was the case in the show. A good chunk of the evos were from the original VPETs, some came from the Pendulum, some came from Digimon World, but it was all that kind of pre-1999 situation. I also feel like as we're so intrinsically VPET tied, we may never see megas, which was kind of the case in Digimon Adventure itself. The only megas we saw initially were the Warp Digivolutions to Wargreymon and Metal Garurumon. So while I will discuss megas for each of them, I'm not really firmly attached to them, you know? I'm gonna try and avoid really big enemies as partners, so no Dark Masters, no Devimon, no Myotismon, and similarly I will not be using Leomon or Ogremon, but some other Monster of the Week style Digimon may get swapped around and used here. I also think it would be pretty interesting, as we're going with more of a VPET style, if each Digimon could have somewhat branching evolutions to kind of reflect that more VPET style of evolution. So for example, if Agumon became Greymon one time, he might de-digivolve and then become Garurumon another time. Not a great example, I'm trying to avoid spoilers for the video. So if I do use Digimon that are enemies in the show, maybe that could be part of it. Their partners becoming the same type of Digimon they fought before might act as a learning moment for these kids. Initially terrified that their partner digivolved to the same form as a past enemy, but it's still their partner, so that might teach them a lesson about not judging a book by its cover, about treating others with kindness, etc, etc. Fun lessons for kids! So first up is Joe, and I am addressing something that I've wanted to address for years by giving him Betamon. Yes, Betamon debuted on the version 1 VPET in 1997, and never until 02, with Michael, got to be a partner Digimon, and even then he's a side International Digidestin partner. I always feel like Betamon is done so hard done by, he's literally beta-cucked by the Digimon franchise. He wasn't on the original Vital Bracelet even though he was in the trailer. He wasn't in Digimon Adventure until 02 even though he was on the first VPET with Agumon. So yeah, Joe will get a Betamon who will become a Seadramon, so we would have to change Seadramon's role in Adventure slightly, but he could also maybe become Shellmon. As I said in the intro, Shellmon is kind of a prominent early enemy in Digimon Adventure, a prominent Monster of the Week, so I think it'd be very interesting, especially for Joe, to see his lovely Betamon become a Shellmon. And then Seadramon or Shellmon would likely become the ultimate level Mega Seadramon, which had a 1998 debut, and funnily enough was actually the enemy in Zudomon's debut episode. So, little bit of switcheroo maybe? Some alternates for the ultimate I think that are kind of fun would also be the ultimate level version of Waymon, though at this point in history, Waymon being an adult or a perfect was kind of up in the air until they officially separated them as 2 different Waymons of 2 different levels. So Divamon would also be an interesting pull and would all exist in our pre-1999 prerequisite, with probably Plesiomon as the Mega. I think with Betamon being the partner and leading into a much more aquatic line, as opposed to Gomamon to Ikakumon and Zudomon, I feel like Plesiomon makes more sense as the Mega here. Then is Izzy, who does get to keep a bug partner, but instead gets Kunemon, who debuted on the March 1998 version 3 Digital Monster. Tentomon debuted way later. And this is really interesting. This is where you can start to see some stuff from Digimon Survive get folded in. I'm not going to talk about any evolutions past Champion in Digimon Survive, because I feel like that's like kind of fair game spoilers at this point, but obviously Kunemon was in Survive. There's a lot of Survive partners that was echoing Adventure that are actually original VPET Digimon, so you're going to see that kind of crop up a few times in this video. Kunemon would then become Flymon, which was in the August 1998 version 5 digital monster. There's also a lot of that going on with the VPETs, where like a Digimon will debut on the version 2, but its very common Evo will be on like the version 3, 4, 5 or whatever. Very interesting. I wonder if they were all created at the same time, or retroactively someone like noticed, oh wait, hold on, we could put Flymon, Kuwagamon here, even though it should digivolve from Kunemon. And yeah, Kunemon could also become Kuwagamon. It debuted on the version 4. It would again be interesting, Kuwagamon being the first enemy of the series if suddenly Izzy's partner became Kuwagamon. The Ultimate's a little bit iffy, but I've gone with Okuamon. It debuted in 1998 on the Pendulum 1.0 Nature Spirits. I could have gone with Atlas Kabuterimon here too, that would have been fine. Because we are going to end up at the Mega being Hercules Kabuterimon, I just don't think anything else really fits. We'd be changing things for the sake of it. Digimon like Grand Kuwagamon, which I'd like in this line, came out in the 2000s, so yeah, Hercules Kabuterimon. And actually Flymon to maybe the Blue Kabuterimon or Atlas Kabuterimon would work okay too. Then is Sora, who actually gets a Biyomon. Yep, Biyomon debuted on the version 4 in May of 1998, and can become Birdramon, which debuted 2 versions earlier in December 1997 on the version 2. See what I mean? Birdramon came out before Biyomon. Wild. Garudamon did debut in 1999, but I feel like an interesting change would be to make Birdramon digivolve to Megadramon. Megadramon debuted in 1998 on the version 4, just like Biyomon, and as it was on the same VPET as Biyomon and is also a Dramon species like Birdramon, I feel like that's quite an intentional evolution. So while we lose the bird elements, we keep the dragon elements, which I think is interesting. And then for the Mega, Phoenixmon is kind of the only chronologically appropriate Digimon. We could go to Machinedramon, but that feels a little bit too much for Sora. There's also Valdemon and Ornismon, but again, they debuted past our 1999 cutoff, so let's go Phoenixmon. Mimi also gets to keep her partner. Biyomon and Palmon debuted on the version 4 together. Crazy how nature do that. But I would have Palmon digivolve to Vegemon, which debuted on December 1997 on the version 2. Habu, you knew what you were doing with Survive, homie. And then Blossomon, which was a June 1999 debut. Again, though, I could see this kind of split VPET style digivolution, meaning that Lilymon also shows up. Blossomon was on the Pendulum 4.0 Wind Guardians, so like really at that point we could just use Lilymon. And Rosemon for the Mega, why not? Then for TK, Patamon is also a version 3 debut in March 1998. Their digivolution to Perfect or Ultimate level, I think Holy Angemon or Magna Angemon works just fine, but it would be interesting if we chose specifically Holy Angemon Priest Mode. I'm never going to miss an opportunity to drag a Digimon out of V-Tamer jail, and technically Magna Angemon and Magna Angemon Priest Mode debuted in V-Tamer's 2 years and 1 year, respectively, before they debuted in the Digivice version 1. So in many ways, I would kind of consider Magna Angemon / Holy Angemon and its Priest Mode to be more like V-Tamer's Digimon than they are Digimon Adventure Digimon. And that's why I would like to see Priest Mode show up, just like it kind of did in Digimon Adventure 2020. People call that a mode change, like Sagittarius mode and Alterus mode. It's really not. It's more like a Digivolution wink, a nod to the camera. Sorry, just had to get on my soapbox about that one. And then I'd actually have Godramon show up. We didn't see Patamon and Gatamon's Megas until a movie later on, but Godramon actually debuted in 1999, and I think just has better visual cohesion because I would like to keep Magnadramon. So yeah, Godramon and Magnadramon, spoilers. And speaking of Kari, yeah, Gatomon debuted in 1998 in the Digital Monster version S, which was like a video game version of the VPETs, and so did Angelwomon and Magnadramon. And I know what you're saying, those aren't the original 5 versions of the Digital Monster. Well, correct, but also Gatomon isn't a rookie, she's a champion. So for the rookie, I could maybe see Gazimon. Gazimon debuted on the version 5. It's a slightly more edgy rookie than the very cutesy Salamon, but could be fun, especially during Gatomon's time with Myotismon. Another contender instead of Angelwomon though, if we wanted to use more original VPET Digimon, could be Pickle Rickmon. Piccolomon, Picklemon, Piximon, pick whatever you want to fucking call it, Mon. Because I can kind of see how Gatomon to Piximon to Magnadramon would work. The pink fur with Piximon kind of works and the wings and stuff. So again, maybe Piximon could be an alternate for Angelwomon. Gatomon going 2 different ways with Digivolution, but of course Piximon is a very prominent character in Adventure, almost similar to Leomon. In fact, I feel like Piximon gets forgotten a lot, but bro also sacrificed. I think Kari's going to be one of those lines, probably the second most boring of the video, just because I think we need that angelic element. I think it's very important for multiple instances of the franchise, so we can't deviate too much. But yeah, Gazimon is the rookie. Maybe a Lekmon, but Kari isn't the most boring. The most boring is going to be Matt, who is going to get Gabumon, Garurumon, and where Garurumon. Yeah, Gabumon and Garurumon both debuted on the version 2. We could have given Matt Gazimon or Elecmon, but I just don't think it feels likely. Gazimon would work, but would limit us severely for things like Omnimon. We just have to revert it back to Garurumon anyway, and we gave it to Kari. And Elecmon to me kind of has to become Leomon, so the only way we could make that work would be if we were to remove Leomon and make a new Digimon, maybe make Garurumon the Leomon equivalent of this new season, and then give Matt an Elecmon Leomon. Something in the middle. There was no Grap Leomon at that point. Just wear Garurumon again. And Saber Leomon, if we're going to keep Omnimon looking like Omnimon, doesn't really work either. So ultimately, I'm going to leave Matt at his standard line with Gabumon, but I do think it's interesting that Dromogimon is on the original Digital Monsters. Dromogimon debuted on the version 3 in 1998, and I hadn't really thought about this before, but it has a horn, it has a pelt, it kind of looks like a Gabumon evolution, so yeah, maybe Gabumon in this VPET version can become Garurumon and Dromogimon. And then finally is Tai, and yeah, he's getting an Agumon. Agumon debuted in June 26, 1997 on the version 1. He's the OG for a reason. He was picked as Tai's partner for a reason. If we were going to change it up, it would just be pointless, I think. We could go like Gizamon, Cyclomon, but they ugly. I will say, however, I think the champion should be Tyrannomon. It is the version 1 champion that I think is more associated with those original VPETs. It was in all the promotional art. Even right now, the 25th anniversary BE Dims, it is like the mascot of those Dims. I personally consider Tyrannomon to be the VPET or card game de facto champion for Agumon, whereas Greymon is like the anime de facto champion for Agumon. It does bleed into the video games a little bit, but obviously in things like Survive, you have the 2 or 3 options. So for me, I think Tyrannomon would still work really well in a more VPET focused anime season, and we could still get Skull Greymon because it debuted in 1997 on the version 2, but the actual ultimate I think should be Metal Greymon Virus, which is also on the version 1. It ties us back into the Greymon line to eventually lead into War Greymon and Omnimon in the future, but the Virus Metal Greymon is of course the OG. Pumpkin Metal Greymon, if you will, was kind of a revision to make a more good guy Metal Greymon for the anime. But I like the idea maybe of Tai learning the lessons from Skull Greymon and assimilating those when he digivolves properly, and especially with a Tyrannomon, I can really see how that would become Metal Greymon Virus. Another alternative is Metal Tyrannomon, which debuted on the version 5 in 1998, but I think I would stick with Virus Metal Greymon, as we're already getting the Dark Digivolution in Skull Greymon, and Metal Greymon Virus still feels like more of an Elseworlds pick, if you will. One that even 02 addressed by having Greymon Dark Digivolve to it, and as I say, serves as a better bridge to end up in War Greymon for that Omnimon setup. But those are my picks for what I think an original Digital Monster VPET Digimon Adventure might look like. The other way I was going to go with this is that each kid just gets whatever Digimon is on a version 1, version 2, version 3, etc. Let me tell you, that shit did not work. This video has been planned for months now. It was going to come out in September, October, and November, because I originally wanted to stick to Digimon just on those first 5 VPETs, and it was a nightmare. Like, Agumon works fine, but then, Elecmon becomes Kabuterimon and Vadermon? What? Now that really random evolution would be a lot of fun to see, but I don't think would work thematically for the story of Adventure, because certain things like the more heroic looking Digimon, the Angel Digimon, stuff like that I think is important to the anime story, so I kind of went in this more slightly loosey-goosey way, but still with rules set in. However, if you want to go hardcore, let me know your picks in the comments down below. Let me know with just the first 5 VPETs what the best line you think is for each of the 8 partners. I would love to hear that. And if you want to see me do this with 02, I can definitely do that. Maybe expand the range of VPETs up to like the year 2000, maybe go crazy. Huge shout out to my Sovereign ZDK14 as well as all of the names you can see on screen right now for supporting the channel with their hard-earned money. Check out the video below me because it is one that YouTube knows you are going to love from my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.